Did you know that in the last 2 decades, the Nigerian makeup industry, in its uniqueness, has grown beyond just brushstrokes? From the era of unmatched foundation undertones and walking out of personal makeup kits, to a huge contributor to the ever-growing and viable beauty and personal care market. Currently worth a whopping 1.26 billion at retail, with an estimate to reach 1.31 billion by 2023. On the Beauty Cook Show, I will be celebrating the key players in the Nigerian makeup space, highlighting the role they have played in putting our beauty industry on the world map, while sharing key insights, tips, and tricks to help build the rapidly growing list of emerging beauty brands and entrepreneurs. My name is Omontese Ita. This is the Beauty Cook Show. This morning I realized when I was trying to put myself together for your episode, and I remember that you and I actually were in Ile-Ife together at some point. Yes, my grandmom ran the Botry of Fadri Hall in OAU. So yes, I lived in Ife about twice. I went to St. Mary's nursery school in Lagiri. Yes, so and I remember that before my dad really got comfortable with the idea of me being a makeup artist. He had seen me roll my box out, back, and I was still in school then, and until one day he asked me, because his cousin had contracted me to do her makeup, and we traveled all the way to the village, and when I came back, I was like, how much did she pay you? And I was hesitant, and I was like, how much did she pay you? I said, 50,000 naira. One day I just turned back, okay, if you got 50K, and I know how often you go out then, that's okay. So how did you get your dad, a professor, to how did you convince him to accept you being a makeup artist, knowing well that there wasn't anyone you could even point him to say that person is doing it and she's doing well. So this is the line I want to toe. I want to go with her.
So I think I started doing makeup when I was in my first year in Unilag. And of course I was on campus, so it was quite coded. But by the time ASU strike started, I was home a lot. And then I think at a point I didn't have accommodation in school, so I would have to go to school and then on Thursday set out to do makeup.
Were you living on campus?
I was living on campus. Okay, no, we had moved to Lagos by then. So I just said to him, he asked me one day that, what's all this? Why do people come here? What? And I said to him, Daddy, look, even though I'm in school, my grades are good. Even though I'm doing this work, my grades are excellent. Moreover, I only do it Fridays and Saturdays. And he goes, no. I sent you to school to study. I didn't send you to go and start looking for ways to make money.
I can pay your school fees.
And then you had all that talk. And I said, see, my grades are good. My GPA is high and it's not affecting what I'm doing. And I don't even have to ask you for money all the time.
Anyways.
But he was still very, he was hesitant. And then, of course, I can be stubborn. So I just continued what I was doing. And over time, and then articles started to come out. City People interviewed me. Ooh. Ovation interviewed me. And he saw the article and it's not so bad after all.
Okay.
And then,
So,
of course,
did you ever tell him how much you were earning? How much you were being paid?
No. He never asked me, but I think the way that I carried myself, I'm prudent by nature, and it's not like I just started showing up with luxury stuff and all of that. No, but basic things I would provide in the house. I would buy food, just support the family. And every parent, I believe that's
with that, they'll calm them down. As long as it's not anything illegal, then it will calm them down.
And the rest is history.
Yes, I remember the very first time I saw you. I think it was City People, and they were like, the makeup artist, Banke Meshida, and I was like, okay. Because prior to you, after Auntie Ayo, I had seen Tara in a few events without even knowing who she was. Then I also saw Auntie People, this lady is a makeup artist. Then I saw you. I remember that the first time I had gotten a makeup artist job, before I even knew that what I was doing was called makeup artistry. And you have set the standard, you set the pace, others are full. I remember it was your image of a bride that we all, emulated. And I remember
Do you have the image? Do you remember the image?
Yes, it was a bride in that gele that had that oval shape.
Okay.
And the 3-tone eyeshadow.
And
the
really
wine lips.
Oh
no,
my,
that was
oh
there.
my
It was
God.
very, yes, and the wine lips. I remember the green eyeshadow that came in gradients. And I remember even that was what I was following, and people would be like, after I tell you I shade my eyebrow, I would, retrace that and then go. I remember my first eyeshadow was Usha's. Yes, it had green. Yes, same thing. So you created that image, and that industry grew. I'll tell you, following your footsteps. How have you been able to sustain that up till, that's 20 years later? Have you done 20 already?
So it's 24.
Oh!
Yeah. But time just seems like air. It's not like, it's not, I can't believe it's 24 years either.
Wow.
But one thing I would say is that Nigerian women have remained fashionable. So I've taken my style from the clients that I've worked with, and even though we have evolved, we've come a very long way.
We have.
I look at some of the gillies in those days, and I'm thinking, are you serious?
And
that gilly was bad.
It was bad. But it was the closest thing to something, because a lot of people did not even have an idea.
So you can imagine what bad makeup was then. My goodness, I would love to see something.
It was
from
horrible.
that era. Yeah.
It was horrible.
Retaining this place where this setting the standards and the pace, as you put it, it's been a joint effort, so to speak. The clients that I work with, they also dictate. They'll say, oh, I don't like this gilly, turn it a certain way, push it back, I want my forehead to show, I want my forehead to not show. So that has sort of told me what direction to go, and then I refine it, and then we just keep pushing, we just keep creating. Beauty keeps evolving.
Yes, it does.
There was a time where the gilly was very neat and plate-like and saucer-like.
Yes,
I didn't
that
really
was
like
a horrible,
that.
that was a horrible season.
Thank God it's gone now, and we're back to our gilly, because one image that has always inspired my gillies is the painting by Ben Tutu.
Okay.
Tutu had the gilly like when graded to the back.
Yeah, graded to the back.
So that profile, that is always in my head when I'm creating a gilly.
Yes.
And I believe that's a typical Yoruba woman.
And you passed that on to me too, because I remember, I like to tell people this story. I say when I took a lot from you. I know you trained back then, but you never did commercial training. And I took that because I remember, even as I was less than 25, I don't know if 150 had ever sat in my account. And when it was time for me to do my training with you for 2 days, I had to borrow. Paid 150. And it's immediately pushed my brand up there.
Shapes you.
Yes, and
because I sorry to interrupt, because I always say that your work needs to sell itself. Your work needs to push your brand out there. It's not until you start, for beauty, you shouldn't necessarily have to tell people the reason why they should patronize you as an artist. Your work, when people see it, should do all the work for you. Of course, you can then find ways to project it. So for you, you said this to me before, that it was after the training that you did with BM Pro that you could you felt more confident in your artistry.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to imbibe when I do trainings, which is why I probably wouldn't train a room filled with 1,000 ladies. No.
Same here.
It had the sort of artistry that I want to imbibe. It has to be sort of one-on-one, maximum maybe 30 people, for you guys to take what I need you to take away from that class.
Yeah.
So yes, I remember, I think the very first time we met was at the Tejo show.
The Tejo show's event.
And Temi lady, please, this, she's always had your back. In fact, she's your godmother.
Yes.
And she spoke to me, and I said, if we don't do this, this girl will not let me. She would not let me rest.
Yes.
And then you came in and you took everything that I taught and then some. Of course, you were already an artist, so that made it easy.
Yeah.
And like I always say, even if you go to a training, you should not leave everything you've learned previously and then try to it won't work. You won't be able to replicate exactly what you've learned. So you need to find a way to infuse the new knowledge that you've amassed into what you have previously. And that's what you've done. And
so what's your take on how makeup training has become so cheap? It runs on promos. It's 5K, 10K.
I wish people could see through that. Then they won't waste their money. The world has changed. You know, everything is now digital, but education, beauty education, you still need to go the traditional route for for it to make sense.
Yeah,
I can watch something. You know, if you're the type that you can pick things easily, yes, you can definitely watch and learn. But until you do some things the traditional way, you're just wasting your money. So when I see all of them, 7K, WhatsApp, blah, 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 they're just taking your money for your data, the data that you're
going to spend as well.
Yes. Like I said, you can watch something and pick something. You know, it won't be totally wasted. But for you to be thorough, for you to make a difference to your artistry, you need to do the traditional beauty education. Yes.
And has that must have brought forth the whole mediocrity that we find in industry now. I mean, as at 2021, somebody told me, this David, translate this in English. Makeup.
Okay, so what is that? What does that even
So she's not rated the makeup artistry. I mean, you go on a production and they assume that makeup artist is the least on the radar. How have you reacted to this, and how have you been able to function with this impression that the makeup artist is the least important person on this radar, and she should maybe, in fact, not even be paid.
This is makeup.
Something like that.
I see that. And, you know, our society is such that when there's a good thing, then everyone rushes there. And it's only a matter of time before how do you say it now? When they sieve the chaff from the wheat.
Wheat, yeah.
Now, at a point, everybody was becoming makeup artists. Yes, people will say to me, "Oh, I have one girl that's from the village. Can I send her to you? My nanny, I want her to come and learn makeup." And I say to them, "You teach that your nanny makeup. Do you need to choose? Do you want her to remain a nanny, or do you want to let her go because she's going to leave you?" And there'll be there's always sub stories. They'll come back, "Oh, that girl, that's all I've done for her." No, makeup artistry opens your eyes. It's an empowering skill. But that being said, the sort of people that become makeup artists, like, so that example, getting one girl from your village that was caring from your mother, and then your mother dies, and then you bring her, and then she's a makeup artist. That sort of girl, she's just happy that she's been able to eke a living. She's not going to come with all the swag and the decency that is required to function in a structured environment.
Yeah.
So which is why they will take whatever is dished out to them. She's even thankful that she's able to be in a room with so-called
people.
So she's still like a rag, but she's offering a fantastic service. But she will still be treated as such, and she will take it. So that, I always say, you can't really make everything perfect. Personally, as a makeup artist, my work as a makeup artist has opened up my life to positively.
True.
And which gives me the encouragement to keep forging on. But I may not be able to say that for all the ladies that are makeup artists in Nigeria or worldwide. Which is also, this brings me to remember when we started and we'd say, "Oh, let's have an association."
Yes.
Stop people from. You cannot. I used to take a step back then, because I said to myself, if this is what you guys want to do, you want to stop mediocrity, you really can't stop mediocrity. What you can do is is give people, set down laws, put down laws, encourage them to follow these laws. If they don't follow them, you won't base your life on trying to stop people from becoming makeup artists.
Yeah.
Or even the makeup artists sometimes when you see them, you're like,
how do people let you get into their space?
Indecently dressed, the way they even speak, the carriage, those are the things
even
that
their boxes. I was
dirty,
on the job one day and I saw
raggedy.
this guy. He was even well dressed, but when he opened the box, I had to call my girl. I said, come look at that guy's box. So you see, when I'm shouting to say, clean my box, if you don't clean, this is what you turn to.
And then that guy is doing the makeup for 2K. So how do you then tell a client who sits down and lets someone ragged like that do her makeup, and you want to come and tell her she's going to pay you $2,000?
How?
She can arrest you. So someone that is presented that way, what can he possibly have in his box?
True.
And they're paying him peanuts. It's just a means of survival
for him at that time. And the moment he realizes, he realizes what has happened, what he has, he
doesn't care about alcohol, sanitizing, washing, bad breath, wearing a mask when you're working. No, all those are added expenses that have I even eaten.
Exactly. He's not ready to.
So what I always say is to make set rules and make them look attractive to the next artist that they then want to better themselves. Set an example. Let them want to yearn. Let them want to be like you and want to mimic everything that you do. That way, the industry is better, and
it's safe for everyone.
For everybody, yes.
Do you have any plans to retire soon?
No, I don't. Because people are still getting dressed and still, that is part of the artistry that I love. Okay. Painting faces, getting people older. But now there's so much to the business. There's so much to the business.
Yeah, so what other parts? No, let me not ask. Let me not be like a regular interviewer. I know that you have a thriving makeup, makeup product line, the BM Pro line, and you snuck into skincare too.
Yes.
And another interesting thing that I've admired about you is, like I told Auntie Ayo that day, besides Auntie Ayo, you also taught me how to accept formulas. Okay, it's laziness. No, not laziness. I think out of the fact that I haven't gotten that call to do a product line as well, but even way back, you would dish labels and look out for formulas. I remember that eyeshadow we were using those days. That's what was it? Miss Rose eyeshadow. Yes. And it made me reluctant to spend money on the labels of eyeshadow. So I was always looking out for the content. The content. What's the formula? What's the formulation? And for a very long time, I used that, and of course, with time,
I don't even think they make it that. I don't think nice.
So. No, I don't think so. They won't, because that was just like raw pigment they were using then, and then it's moved on to. Of course, the trend has also changed, and that has moved. So, how has this been for you? This journey? What has been the challenges running a cosmetic brand, a locally owned makeup brand?
I think it's the factories that I've had the privilege to work with over the years. They've seen my vision, and even though they hardly manufacture for black skin, I've had to teach them and show them exactly what works for the market that I'm going to retail the products in. Like I said, I don't plan on retiring anytime soon.
Okay.
But it may seem that the business has taken a different turn for me. Now I do the photography, we have the skincare, we have the makeup. So
that's talking about diversification.
Yes, but it's still under BM Pro. It's a large beauty company. So product formulation, you can't be lazy with product formulation. I can be anal sometimes if I say I want this streak of orange and you're sending me red or yellow. No, can you just mix it, take 50% of this, 30% of that, and this is exactly what I want. Same thing with skincare. I had some personal struggles with my skin, and the knowledge that I have of raw materials helped me create formulas. Like in my bathroom, I would mix, it can be grapeseed oil, it can be rosemary, and I'd apply it. The next day, my skin is looking really clear. In fact, my husband says to me, "This your skin one day will break down on you," because he thinks you put it through. I'm like, leave it. I'll take my antioxidants. But yeah, the business is really we've expanded. Like you said, we do skincare now. I do makeup. I do photography. Just because I see a vision and I want to create it, and I've been able to do that.
Okay. So is there anyone famous that you want to wipe off her makeup and reapply? I know you are very blunt with this thing.
So makeup on the stars, it doesn't terrify me as before. Like,
okay.
I think everyone has upped their game. And there's a lot of indie brands, even in the US. A lot of the younger indie brands have been able to infiltrate the industry. Look at Juvia's Place. The pigments are amazing.
Yes.
And all makeup artists probably have a Juvia's Place piece in their box.
Yeah.
Colourpop as well, Kat Von D. So we're all sort of speaking the same language, but I still feel like some people can be very lazy. I won't call anyone's name, you know.
Please don't.
But I see some makeup, some artistry, and I'm thinking, this woman can be finer than this. But then I've also come to understand that my idea of beauty is very different from another person. And you have to respect that. So, yeah, that's it. You have to respect people's idea of beauty. It doesn't mean that you would always admire it. What that means is that you won't always admire that work, but it's not.
It's what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Is there someone you can impersonate? Oh no, someone you can mimic?
Mommy Gio. I don't think no.
So should we give you a mic? Should we give you a mic and her glasses? Should we do that?
No.
Okay, go ahead. You want to try and do that?
I don't know who I want to mimic. Let me think about it.
Okay, I'm waiting.
No, I want to do that.
You don't want to do that on air. No, you have to do that. You have to do that.
Let me watch it. I'll do it. Where's my phone? Where's my glasses?
Okay, so why that is coming up?
My glasses.
Why that is coming up? What makeup products are you going to apply without looking at the mirror?
Foundation.
That's another level.
Yes, foundation.
And you just...
So the foundation, my ideal foundation is one that you can even just do like this.
And apply like...
Yes, and I'm getting that with BM Pro.
With BM Pro. Oh yeah, of course. Like, flip
For real though.
Okay, so we're waiting for your...
Mommy Gio.
For the Mommy Gio phone. Is there a mic?
You have to kill me today. The kingdom
of darkness are operating under that statement, Valentine. Is the kingdom of darkness are operating under that statement, Valentine.
Mic that.
Where is the mic? Please give my mic. Is there a... I should use this one.
Okay. Rolling.
Tape rolling. Action.
The kingdom of darkness are operating under that statement, Valentine. That's God.
They will send spirit above.
It's a day they will send that spirit above. Yeah, I think we're good.
We are good. Okay, so let's close out. So what's the most pointless invention you've seen in the beauty industry?
There are very many. Those eyebrow gadgets, that stencil gadgets that you're supposed to place on your nose and draw. scam because
Real big scam.
there's no way that the same thing will work for me and work for you. And then the brow shapes. Are you serious? So
They've even gone back to normal. Those days of them looking like 3 inches wide.
Oh yes, and those fat eyebrows.
Yes, and then
white.
the glowed.
Sometimes I get confused with that glowed. Because
That glowed.
there's no enemy anywhere. They're blinding. Nobody is.
Blind your enemies.
Nobody cares about you that much. And you know when people call and say, "Oh, the enemies," who's the enemy? Nobody even remembers you.
And then that, I think that overdrawn lips.
So I don't think those are for brown-skinned people. I think it's for people that are
But
very
you
thin
now have
lips.
brown-skinned girls doing it.
Because sometimes illiteracy, you just see something and you just take it.
You have
don't
thrown shade
care.
at them.
Sorry.
I told you now. Those overdrawn lips.
Don't. I'm packing all the products in the world because you saw a YouTube channel where they had 18 different powders and 6 different foundations and 8 primers and the sprays they had.
Your face just getting like
No.
it's chunk.
It's too much. A lot of these brands want to market all their products. So they will get an influencer to use every
everything.
single thing.
Yeah.
You don't need that much product. It's a waste of money, time, effort, and some products don't even mix well with the others.
Yeah,
So,
true.
Just tailor, get a custom made makeup bag for you. You don't need more than 15 or 10 items. Even 3 items may be enough to get your face beat.
Yeah, true. All right, so thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for
It's been
having
my
me.
pleasure.
I hope.
So please tell our viewers to subscribe to the channel, tell them to watch, to like, do the promo for us. Do just one jingle.
Okay. My name is Banke Meshida Lawal and I've just been on the Beauty Cook Show. Did you enjoy what you just watched? Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to encourage her and just push her.